Welcome to SakshiEducation.com. Today we are going to discuss about the current affairs of March 1st to 10th, that is first 10 days of current affairs. Firstly, we start with persons in news of national and international. So, who are the people who have made the news for the first 10 days of March 2018? The first is Vijay Kumar, who is also the Joint Secretary for Ministry of External Affairs, was being appointed as Ambassador to the Republic of Afghanistan. So, the Joint Secretary was appointed to the Ambassador to the Afghanistan, Mr. Vijay Kumar of MEA, Ministry of External Affairs. And another person here is Miss Krishna Kumari Kohli. Miss Krishna Kumari Kohli is the first Dalit Hindu woman from Pakistan who was being elected as the senator for the upper house of Pakistan Parliament. This is the first time that a Dalit Hindu woman was appointed for this post of Senate, and she is a member of Bilawal Bhutto of Zardari party, and she belongs to Nagar Parikar village of Tar district of Sindh provinces of Pakistan, where she was living with her family since 1857 onwards. So, the Sindh provinces during 1857 was under the British government, which was United India. So, remember the name Miss Krishna Kumari Kohli. And another name you need to remember here is Ratna Bhagavan Das Chawla. She was the first Hindu woman senator in Pakistan. So, Pakistan is also allowing the Indian born citizens to be the members of its Senate or the Parliament. Next, Virat Kohli, the Team India cricket captain Virat Kohli was being made as a brand ambassador of Amaze. So, Amaze is a new firm of Luminous Power Technologies, which is a battery making firm. So, Virat Kohli will be promoting this Amaze batteries, which is having a turnover of nearly 1500 crores. Next, Armen Sarkisian. Armen Sarkisian will be the first elected president of Armenia. So, Armenia is an Asian country, and this Armen Sarkisian was being elected in the parliament. So, he is not being nominated. So, he becomes the first elected president of Armenia, and he will take oath on April 9th, 2018. So, and the current president of Armenia is Serge Sarkisian. So, Serge Sarkisian is the father of Armen Sarkisian. And one more thing here for the states of India is 3 northeastern states of India has witnessed elections, that is assembly elections on 3rd March 2018, and on 6th March 2018 the results were being announced by the Election Commission of India, and following which the 3 states has gone for electing new chief ministers. So, therefore, the new chief minister of Nagaland is Naypyidaw Rio, and Naypyidaw Rio is being elected from the party of Naga People's Front. So, Naga People's Front is the ruling party in Nagaland. And coming to the Tripura, Mr. Biplav Kumar Dev. So, he won the election from the BJP party, and he was sworn in as the youngest chief minister of Tripura. So, remember Tripura, Manik Sarkar was the former chief minister of Tripura. So, he has served Tripura for nearly 4 consecutive terms, and Tripura is also having the deputy chief minister Mr. Jishnu Dev Kumar. Next, Meghalaya has also witnessed the elections recently, and the chief minister for Meghalaya is Comrade Sangma. So, he belongs to National People's Party of Meghalaya. Coming to the national affairs, so national current affairs which we have drafted for the helpful for any competitive examination. It may be for the UPSC or TSPSC or APPSC or bank and SSC examinations. So here this national affairs where we have scrutinized, like you can see that 8 core sectors of Indian economy has achieved 6.7% of growth rate in January 2018, and this is being released, the index being released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in March 2018. So, as per the March reports of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, 6.7% of growth rate was being achieved by the 8 core industries of India, and those 8 core industries are like coal, crude oil, petroleum, natural gas, steel, fertilizers, cement and electricity. So, these are the core 8 industries which has gained a momentum from the previous month. The previous month is nothing but in the month of December 2017, the growth rate was 4.2% only, but drastically in the month of January it is 6.7%. So, 4.2% to it raised to 6.7%. So, it is a drastic rise. So, increase in the percentage of growth. So, this may be asked in the examination. So, what made the core 8 industries to gain the momentum? So, this is being highlighted by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So, you know the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is Suresh Prabhakar Prabhu. Next, in the news of science and technology, DRDO has successfully testified this anti-tank guided missile. So, ATGM Nag in desert conditions. So, in the desert conditions also Nag could work. So, this is being successfully testified by the DRDO at Pokhran of Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. And this anti-tank guided missile Nag is one of the 5 missile systems developed indigenously by DRDO under Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, and Nag is one of the 5 series. Remaining 4 are Agni, Akash, Prithvi and Trishul, and Nag missile works on the principle of fire and forget. Next, so coming to the Union Cabinet. So, Union Cabinet has approved continuation of Prime Minister Employment Generation Program for 3 more years. That is, actually this the Union Cabinet has thought to stop this Prime Minister Employment Generation Program in 2018, but they have approved it to continue up to 3 more years, and PMEGP is being administered by Ministry of Small, Micro and Medium Enterprises. So, it is a centrally sponsored subsidized scheme for new startups and new entrepreneurs. Next, Union Cabinet also approved Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill. This Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill was being recently brought down or tabled before the Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So, the main aim of this Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill is to stop the willful defaulters to escape from India. So, simply saying, to stop the willful defaulters escape from India. So, after the 12,000 crore scam which was being limelighted from Punjab National Bank, after the escape of Nirav Modi, the government of India has committed that so no more offenders should be left India, and the main aim also is to deal with those who escape overseas after committing financial malpractices in India. So, this is a very important for bank and SSC examinations, of course even for other examinations, because the news is very highlighted. So, Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill 2018. So, this bill seeks that how the willful defaulters are being escaping and how to bring back them from the foreign countries. So, this bill will help to stop the economic offenders On March 2nd, Maharashtra's first mega food park was being inaugurated. So, this was being inaugurated at Satara. This was being inaugurated at Satara, Dewan village by Ministry of Food Processing and Industry, Harsimrat Kaur Badal, and this is named as Satara Mega Food Park Private Limited. So, it is estimated that this mega food market is being built with 250 crores and it may bring up the turnover of 450 to 500 crores annually. And this is the 12th mega food park in India. So, this is very important for examination point of view. This is the 12th mega food park in India. Next, Shakti Sthala. So, Shakti Sthala is being highlighted recently. This is a place in Karnataka. So, world's largest solar power park is being launched in Pavagada region of Tumkur district of Karnataka, and Pavagada region is a drought hit region. So, to generate employment in this place, so the government of India has committed to set up a solar park there, and this is the world's solar park. Shakti Sthala will be the world's largest solar park. This is built with 165 billions. So, $165 billion is the estimated cost for this Shakti Sthala, world's largest solar park, and the total capacity will be the 2000 megawatts, and by 2020 they have committed, the park organizers have committed to generate at least 100 gigawatts of solar power. Next, a tripartite collaboration was being made to build up food processing unit, the first food processing unit in northeastern state of Aizawl, Mizoram. This tripartite agreement was made between the Ministry of Agriculture, that is Government of India, and the state of Mizoram government as well as the government of Israel. So, here the highlight thing is the government of Israel is also committed to develop some projects in India. So, as we are contributing our technology or agriculture to the Israel, Israel also collaborated with India to develop India in infrastructure, to build India strong in infrastructure. So, therefore, a tripartite collaboration was made between Government of India, Government of Mizoram as well as Government of Israel, okay, to build a first food processing unit in Aizawl, Mizoram. Next is on March 2nd, Indian Navy's 6-member all women crew named Navika Sagar Parikrama. So, Navika Sagar Parikrama is a Indian sailing vessel which is circumnavigating along the globe, which was started on 10th of September 2017. So, this all 6 women, Navy women, are alone circumnavigating the globe with the help of Tarini. So, Indian Navy sailing vessel Tarini, which is indigenously built by Aquarius Shipping Private Limited of Goa. So, the main they has been landed in Cape Town of South Africa, and in the month of March, and very soon by April 2018. So, they are going to reach their destination. So, they have started from Goa and they are going to reach Goa. So, it was being inaugurated by Ministry of Defence, Nirmala Sitharaman. Next, Sukhad Yatra. So, Sukhad Yatra is a mobile app which is being launched by Ministry of Road and Transportation and Shipping. So, this is also being inaugurated by the Minister Nitin Gadkari, which helps for the passengers or else the road national highway travelers to register any emergency cases or also complaints. A toll-free number like 1033, toll-free number like 1033 was also being developed for highway users. So, this is the first mobile app available for the highway passengers, highway travelers. So, it will allow users to report any feedback also. So, therefore, the Ministry for Road Transport and Shipping is Nitin Gadkari. Next, and this will be a very good important point here, Shigmotsav 2018. So, on March 3rd to 17th of March, so nearly for 14 days, a grand festival, a festival carnival, a Hindu festival carnival will be held in Goa, which is known as Shigmotsav 2018. So, this is one of the largest festivals organized by the Goan people. So, in the examination point of view under art and culture, this question may be asked. So, Shigmotsav festival is being celebrated in which state? So, the answer will be Goa, and this will be celebrated in the month of Falguna on the 9th moon day. So, Falguna is nothing but March, and on March 5th the first helicopter taxi, so named as Heli Taxi, was launched in Bengaluru, and this Heli Taxi services is being provided by Tumbe Aviation Private Limited, which is based in Kerala, and this Heli Taxi will carry maximum 6 passengers, and this will be the first of its kind in India, and they are using Bell 407 helicopter. So, Bell 407 helicopter. So, remember, for carrying passengers, so for private passengers, this will be the first heli taxi. But in government point of view, already we are having like Pawan Hans helicopters, so which is indigenously built lightweight helicopters, which is used in Jammu and Kashmir, Andaman Nicobar Islands, okay, in Jammu and Kashmir, to carry up the pilgrims to Amarnath Yatra or Vaishno Devi Yatra, travelers to the Andaman Nicobar Islands. So, the tourists are having this facility, Pawan Hans helicopters, which is provided by the Government of India, so under the Ministry of Defence in collaboration with the tourism. But coming to the private passenger carrier, so Heli Taxi will be the first passenger helicopter in India, which is being provided by Tumbe Aviation Private Limited, which is based in Kerala, but Heli Taxi was started in Bengaluru. Next, Size India. What is Size India? Size India is nothing but a national sizing survey of India. So, this is to develop a India size chart for the garment industry. This is being conducted by NIFT, National Institute for Fashion Technology, as well as the Ministry of Textiles. So, the total cost incurred for generating this National Sizing Survey of India is 30 crore rupees, among which 21 crore will be invested by Ministry of Textiles and 9 crores will be invested by NIFT of New Delhi. So, National Sizing Survey is being undertaken by Ministry of Textiles as well as NIFT, and Ministry of Textiles is Smriti Irani. So, Smriti Irani is the Union Minister for Textiles. This is very important for banking and financial news. So, Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has approved proposal for setting up of National Financial Reporting Authority. So, National Financial Reporting Authority will be a auditing firm. It will be a independent regulating auditing firm, which is to be established by Government of India, which will have a individual composition of a chairman, secretary and 3 full-time members. So, this National Financial Reporting Authority yet to be started. So, none of them is being appointed, but the government has just having a proposal and the Union Cabinet have cleared this to establish National Financial Reporting Authority. So, ONGC Videsh Limited. So, ONGC Videsh Limited, OVL Ltd. ONGC Videsh Limited has an overseas subsidiary of ONGC Oil and Natural Gas Corporation has signed a memorandum of understanding with IDRO Oil, a subsidiary of state-run Iran Development and Renovation Organization. So, here IDRO stand for the Industrial Development and Renovation of Organization. So, this is the largest oil extracting firm in Iran. So, recently, India and Iran has signed an MOU for extraction of oil and for distribution of oil, crude oil to India from Iran. And the last point for national affairs is India will join the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development as its 69th member. And this EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction Development, was established in 1991 with headquarters London of UK, and its president is Suma Chakravarti, and India has joined its 69th member. So, it will be the last member. So, therefore, the total members for EBRD is 69. So, these are the important national affairs of this day. So, and we will be discussing about the international affairs.